What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. How do you fix it? Now, on today's video, I wanted to cover a very sensitive subject: phishing. Now, when it comes to your internet accounts, when it comes to your Apple ID, when it comes to pretty much any account that you have online, including your bank information and any kind of billing or financial information that you store online, there's always going to be someone after it. Now, a lot of times they actually disguise themselves as companies or as, like government representatives or just some random agency trying to help you. A big thing that has been going on for a while, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, is getting phishing emails, text messages, or calls about your Apple ID. Now, when it comes to your Apple ID, there's a lot that ties into it. Like we discussed in the previous video, you have your iCloud account, you have your App Store purchases, you have your iTunes purchases. There's also a lot of personal information that you store there. So, people know that. And people with really bad intentions want you to give them your personal information, your passwords, your email addresses, even your social security number. Now, let's think about it this way. When you get that kind of email, they will ask you to log in. And it does look legitimate. In most cases, it does look like the Apple website. And when you go in, it asks you to put in your email, to put in your password. It doesn't matter what you type in there, it'll go through. That's what they want. They want you to go through that website to give them that information they're looking for. After you put in your real information, you're pretty much giving it to them. It's not hacking, it's not stealing, you're basically giving them that information. So that's why it's so important to prevent this from happening. Once you put in your real information, they have your Apple ID and your password. The next page almost always is going to ask you to put in your driver's license, your credit card information, your social security number, your home address, all kinds of crazy information that's really personal to you and that no company really has any business with. For example, when you create an Apple ID, how many times have you seen Apple ask you for your social security number? Not once. How many times have you actually had to put in your driver's license to create an email, or to set up iCloud, or to make a purchase in the iTunes store? It doesn't happen. They don't need that information. So that's a really big red flag when you get that kind of email and they start asking you for that information. You have to stop right away. Stop, go back, just forget about it, delete it, because they will get that information and they will use it against you. They will make purchases under your name. They will use your credit card information without hesitation. So you do have to be really careful with that kind of email. A really big thing that a lot of people don't know about is that emails, for example, from Apple, they will always come from @apple.com addresses. Most of these phishing emails are like @Apple, technical support, billing, something else. No, if as soon as you see that, just stop. Don't even open them. Don't even click on anything. Those emails usually have attachments. They have links. They look legitimate. They have like the Apple logo. They have like the copyright at the bottom. Just don't open them. The first thing you need to check when you get any kind of email from Apple or any other company is check the actual email address. On the name, you can put in anything you want. So it may say Apple support, it may say Google support, it may say Gmail technical support or something. But if you click on it, it'll show you the actual address. So you need to make sure that the address in there is actually legitimate, that is actually from the company. It's really easy to disguise websites that are designed to steal your information by putting a legitimate name on it or some kind of description on it. So it's really important to look at the actual address and make sure that it makes sense. Make sure that it's actually from the company it says it is. So, for example, Apple will always have apple.com/something. Same thing with Google. It might be something.google.com, or might be Google slash something else. Make sure that you're actually looking at the right website. Really important, don't ever use web search engines to look for numbers, for support numbers. For example, if you type in Google support or Apple support or Microsoft support, chances are that you will get a phishing number, some kind of contact information that will take you to one of those phishing websites. So it's better to go to the actual website. For example, go to apple.com, click on support, or Google or Microsoft, click on their support site, look for a contact us information link, or maybe some kind of reach out to us, or maybe through social media. Make sure that it's the right profile. Just click on it, see if they have any kind of phone numbers from there. For example, like I've said before, I deal with a lot of Apple products and a lot of people having issues with those products. So for Apple specifically, you can always dial 1-800-MY-APPLE, so 1-800-692-7753, and that will get you directly to an Apple advisor. From there, they can help you look into, what happened, see if the email is legitimate or not. They do have things they can look for and check if the email that you got is actually legitimate or not. If it's not, you do have to be really careful with what you do with it. If you actually clicked on a link and you actually provided any information, you do have to take steps immediately. If you gave them your contact information, for example, you may need to contact your carrier and change your phone number. It might be a thing. If you gave them your email address, you do have to be careful with the kind of emails you're going to be getting, because phishing attempts are designed to do exactly that. They will basically start sending you more and more emails trying to get more information out of you. If you gave them a password for any of your accounts, you have to change that password immediately without hesitation, because they will use it. Same thing if you provide any other personal information like social security numbers or driver's licenses, anything like that. You do have to contact the right agencies like the IRS or maybe your local DMV. See if they have any options to protect that information and get it as safe as possible. If you give them your credit card or your bank account numbers or any other billing information, you do have to contact your bank immediately. Almost all banks, mostly the major ones, but almost all of them, they have departments specifically designed for this kind of issue, so they can help you protect your information before it's actually used. It's easier to prevent things from happening than having to fix them afterwards, especially when it comes down to using your billing information. Once they make a purchase, a lot of places actually have a waiting period. They actually have an internal process. They have policies in place. So it may take you anything from 7 to 30 business days to get your money back. If you do that, if you proactively tell them, hey, I messed up, please help me, chances are that you can get things resolved a lot quicker and without, major problems. Because when it comes to these phishing attempts, they are getting crafty and they know what they're doing, so they will start using that information as soon as you give it to them. When it comes to phishing attempts, it is kind of a delicate subject. So a lot of companies actually have policies in place, they have security checks, they do have to verify your information before they can do anything about it. So it's really important that you work with them, because remember, they're not the ones who started the problem, or they're not the ones responsible for what you're going through. So they're trying to help. They do have policies in place. They have to adhere to those. So it's important that you work with them so they can work with you and get the problem resolved as quickly as possible. So to prevent all of this from happening, if you get any kind of emails, if you get any kind of text messages or phone calls telling you that a purchase was made with your account or that someone tried to access your account, always try to contact the actual company first and see if they have any information for you. Another thing you can do is check your actual account. For example, with Apple IDs, you can go into the settings on your device, you can sign into your Apple ID, and you can see the purchase history from there. You can see your subscriptions, you can see any purchases that you made for the last 10 years. So it's a really easy process. that you can do on your iOS device. You can do it on your Mac. You can do it on your PC from iTunes. So I will link the article in the description on what you need to do to actually check those purchases, and that will tell you exactly what has been purchased before you call somebody and give them your personal information, because it does happen. It's something that worries a lot of people, so you want to get it fixed fast, and a lot of people fall for it, and it's really hard to fix once it happens. So again, to prevent this problem from happening, always be wary of any emails that you get. Always be mindful of what information you're providing, and think for yourself, why does Apple or why does Microsoft or why does Google need my social security number? Did I give it to them at first? Did I give it to them when I set up the account? No, none of them are going to ask you for that kind of information. So be really, really, really careful online, because a lot of times those phishing people, they actually even call you. They might call you up and tell you, hey, we noticed something in your account. I am so-and-so from company X or Y. And that will, make you feel like, oh, wait, this company cares for me. They're calling me just to, warn me about what's going on. And they only asked me for $500 to fix it. So, no. So please be careful with what kind of information you're providing. And also, if you call a company and they ask you for money to fix this kind of issue, it's a trap. They're not going to ask you for money, to fix a money issue. There is a common practice with Apple IDs that when you call those people, they actually ask you for iTunes gift cards. And they don't ask you for like one or two. They ask you for like $500, $1,000 worth of iTunes gift cards. Now, think for a second. Why does Apple need iTunes gift cards? They made them, and they are already making money off of your device, off of your purchases. So why do they need you to buy an iTunes gift card and give it to them? Just think about it for a second, and you'll see that a lot of times the reason we fall for that kind of problem is because we get so worried about fixing our problem that we don't really think clearly about what we're doing. So really, really, really important, guys. Please be mindful of those emails, of those phone calls. And if something doesn't look right, it probably isn't. So if you're interested in this kind of subject, if you have any other questions about it, or if you'd like to see more details about what these emails look like, go ahead and drop a comment. Make sure to drop a like on the video. And if you're new here and this kind of topic interests you, go ahead and click subscribe and click on that bell so you never miss a video. So I'll see you around.